Hello?
Hi, is that Angela?
Yes? Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, have I woken you up?
No. I just got back home. I just picked up our new guitar player from the train station.
Ah.
He couldn't find his way, so I had to rush out.
Is this your brand new guitar player for Arch Enemy?
Yes.
Aha, Nick.
Yeah, he's just arrived in Halmstad, Sweden.
Aha.
We're going to be rehearsing for a week now, and then we leave to on tour.
Well, lovely to meet you on the other side of the world.
Yeah. Soon I'm going to be on your side.
I know.
Because, we're flying over. Mm-hmm.
This has got to be probably one of your the biggest tours you've ever done, and you're hitting up a lot of new places. That must be pretty exciting in itself to play in places you've never been to before.
Well, right now it's a little bit nerve-wracking because I'm the one who is doing all the pre-production for this tour, you know. I've booked it, so I have to do the pre-production, and I'm dealing with Malaysia and Singapore and these places, and it's interesting when you look at the gear there and the equipment and the tech specs, you know, stuff like that. So, yeah, and organizing flights and, yeah. So, it's exciting, but it's also a bit nerve-wracking, I have to say.
Well, a lot of work for you as well, because you've taken over the reins, as you've just said, of all the management of the band. You've been doing that for a few years now. Why did that come about? Why did you decide, I'm going to do it on my own?
You know, when I joined Arch Enemy, I just thought it's, I just had this whole idea of this glamorous, like, you join a metal or rock band and you tour and everything is fine and you actually have money left in your pocket at the end of it, and I had to learn quickly that this was not the case. You know, that we basically got home after every tour totally broke with a minus. We had a lot of debt, actually, to our old management company, Sanctuary. We kept borrowing money, you know, to be able to do these tours. And in around 2008, I just realized we can't continue like this because, I mean, we're not really getting younger and none of us have, like, anything to show for it, no pension funds or, anything, like, just living into the day and just hoping you can pay the rent for the next month. And so I just had a hard and long look at finances and budgets and accounts and statements, and I kind of noticed that you can't really call it rip-off because, I mean, you know, a manager if you have a management contract where it says he gets 20% of the gross income, then he's entitled to do that. But, I mean, if somebody takes 20% of your gross income and then they go ahead and then pay for all the costs and are not really keen on saving money either, they're just, you know, booking last-minute flights and taking the most expensive tour bus that's out there and overpaying the crew, you know, stuff like that. So I just decided, I just figured, okay, either we do this ourselves, or I can save a shitload of money. I can save about 20% to begin with, and I'm really meticulous and anal about, booking stuff early and, finding, like now I've just spent like 2 weeks on just doing the flights for the Asia tour, just getting the best quotes and, you know, booking this myself on AirAsia.com and Jetstar, whatnot, all these cheap flights. You know, because that's where you can save a lot of money. That's like 10,000 euros here, 10,000 euros there. And then at the end of the day, you look at the budget and you actually come out on top, you know? Like,
look
you
at
come
you.
out with actually some money in your pocket.
You're so organised and responsible.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's my strength, really.
Yeah.
I'm not really a musician. I'm more like I'm a businesswoman. And since then it actually works for us. I mean, we actually not broke anymore, you know? We actually can put some money aside for the future. And that kind of saved the band because we were looking at each other and saying, well, if we can't continue like that, then we have to get proper day jobs.
Oh yeah, who wants to do that?
We have family. Some of the guys in the band have kids, so and you have to stop living with your hands in your pocket pretty much. At some point, you know, you have to kind of grow up, and that's kind of what we did in 2008, or at least I grew up. The rest is still, boys will be boys.
Well, I've got to say, it can't be a Scorpio thing. You're exactly 1 day younger than I am, and I'm as disorganised as the next guy. So a credit to you.
Yeah, but you're a man. There you go. Like I said.
Now we're going to go in that direction.
I believe that musicians, honestly, male musicians, they're just like, you're just just boys in a way, you know. And this is great. I mean, they're very young at heart. They never really age inside, you know. You notice that when you talk to all the musicians in like 50, 60, even Ronnie James Dio, when I met him, he was just like this vibrant. I mean, I met him when he was 65, and he was just this vibrant young soul, you know, which is great, I think, for art, but it's not great for business.
Point taken. Yeah. I was watching just moving forward, I was watching a clinic that you put on to show people how to do those screams and the growls, and you got very into it with, you had diagrams and everything. Did you decide when you got the job in Arch Enemy that you were going to do this properly and not blow your voice out? Because you do a lot of shows every year. You guys, there's over 200 shows a year, yeah?
Yeah, we do a lot of shows. We do because I mean that's where you can earn money on the road. You know, it's not like we're a massive CD selling band. I mean, nowadays you chart, I don't know, in the US top 100 when you sell like 6,000 CDs.
Yeah.
You know, it's not 60,000. So when I actually ran into problems when I joined Arch Enemy. We had to postpone the first tour because we were really rehearsing real hard before that, and I had no techniques. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just screaming. That's what I did 10 years prior to joining Arch Enemy, you know. And I kind of blew my voice out on this heavy rehearsal time, which was like 4 weeks of every day just shouting, and it totally blew it out. Like I went to the doctor and he's like, yeah, you got these little bumps on your vocal cords, these nodules, and if you don't take care of them, you're going to be losing your voice all the time, and it doesn't carry simply, you know. It's not going to do what you want to do with it if you want to go on tour. So we postponed the first tour, and I went to a proper vocal coach and basically took care of that and learned a lot of stuff, and you know, kept educating myself after that as well, because I mean, you know, when you're a singer and that's your instrument, the body, and you want to do this professionally, you better know what you're doing in the long run anyway, I figured. So I got really into it, and there's a science behind it that you can teach people. There's a lot of people out there nowadays who are really interested in it, whether be it they're in a band trying to do these vocals, or it's a lot of people actually coming from theater musicals because they have to do a lot of different vocal styles. They're belting and shouting and screaming, and they often lose their voice, you know. So I had a very mixed. I went to the university in Cologne, the music university, and did a tuition or whatever, you know. I spoke there, and that's the stuff that you find online, I guess.
Do you think with proper technique, do you think absolutely anybody could do that?
No, actually not, to be honest. I think that if you are, it really depends a little bit on your physics as well. Like anything you do in life, it's kind of a sport, you know, extreme vocals. So there's people who are really good at running a marathon. They can do the 400 kilometers, and then there's people that are really good they're really good sprinters, you know. They've got these, long legs, and the marathon runners got more the short, strong legs. And it's a little bit the way you build as well, or rather your vocal cords. So if you've got very thin, fine vocal cords, I think you're probably really good at doing the Kate Bush sort of vocal style, you know? Yes. You know, the airy, like really airy high notes. But you might not be capable of growling for a long period of time without hurting your voice. Yeah. You need a little bit of a robust, like a little bit of a bit stronger vocal cords to do that. So you don't have to be like alt voice or baritone, but I think it's especially when you're a woman, it's good to be at least a mezzo soprano. If you're a soprano, you might not have the right vocal cord set up. But I mean, it's very individual. You just have to try out.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, definitely, if you have the right technique, you're definitely not going to hurt your voice trying out.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for sure.
So it's definitely a good idea to get the right technique down first, and then you push a bit hard and you see where that goes.
Nice. Oh, well, let's talk about Chaos Legions for a moment. I was just reacquainting myself with it today. Congratulations, first of all. I think it's probably... how many albums is this now? Is it 7 or 8?
I've stopped counting. But it's been like a lot of albums. I'm actually not sure. I would have to count. Wages of Sin, Anthems, Doomsday, Rise of the Tyrant, Root of All Evil is the 6th. Yes.
Right. So but the thing is, my point is, there's not a lot of bands that get to that number of albums. I mean, you can actually go, I think this is probably the best album you guys have ever done. You've just kept evolving.
Well, we are obviously a band that also keeps being very active. I think, and we obviously can dedicate ourselves to it because, like I said, we're not really working people. We don't have a real job.
Yes.
So all we do is just like fiddle around on instruments and then think about arrangements and songs and lyrics. That's all we really need to do. And then we play live, which is also quite inspiring, as well. We tour a lot. We tour a lot with other cool bands. We meet a lot of fans. We get a lot of direct response. So that definitely plays into it. It's a big factor of why we're still really excited about doing it. Because we're getting feedback and response, and we are out there and in the middle of it. Not alienated at all. We don't go away for like years and lose touch or whatever. So I think that's part of it. And yeah, we still really enjoy what we're doing. And that's really what music is about in the end of the day. When you stop enjoying it, you should stop doing it.
It's funny you bring that up because recently Christopher decided to leave the band, that the extreme sort of metal wasn't for him, but it was an amicable split. So we want to get that out there, that this is nothing nasty. He just wanted to do his own thing. Is that correct?
Yeah. No, I mean, there is absolutely no bad blood. I mean, he's Michael's brother, and, I've known him for over 10 years now. And no, it's just, he's always, I don't think he has been, I mean, he left the band before in 2005, and then he came back in 2007. But I think he just didn't, back when he left for the first time, he didn't really find what he was looking for. So he thought maybe that was the right thing. But I think since then his heart hasn't really been into it. He really wants to do his own thing, and he's a little bit in a different place musically as well as the rest of us. We just wanna, I mean, I'm the death metal head. I wish all the Arch Enemy music would be sounding like, I don't know, a mixture between Death and Cannibal Corpse. I'm not getting my way that totally. Because the mic is a lot more melodic. But I mean, Chris is even further out. He's not into extreme metal at all, really, personally speaking. I mean, he likes Slayer and Megadeth, but he is not into death metal or any of that extreme stuff that we do. So I think he just wants to do his own stuff, which I'm sure is going to be influenced by traditional heavy metal, but also a lot of rock and blues. And I don't know if you've checked out his last solo album, it's Follow Your Heart, Chris Ament. That sounds completely different. That's more like, I don't know, that's kind of blues, really bluesy.
Okay.
And, very basic rock. So it's just been a musical thing, and he's not really been happy, and he's a real musician. I mean, 100% full-blooded musician. He needs to find his own thing and do it. And I guess he feels like if he doesn't do it now, when then?
Exactly.
Because, I mean, you need to start, if you want to have a solo career or whatever, do your own thing, you have to start that at some point. And he's already, 35, so.
So let's talk about the brand new guitarist you've just picked up from the train station. Nick Cordell is from America, and you're in Sweden now, and you had a hard time finding your place. How has he gone learning just a shitload of songs?
I mean, he's got this very young brain. Obviously, he's only 26, so he's a fast learner. He's got a very school background. He's studied music. He started playing piano with the age of 4 or something like that. Both his parents are music teachers, piano teachers. So he's basically been immersed in music theory and real and practical music from an early age on. And he just listens to the albums. We didn't even. That was the funny thing. We just sent him the album, said, learn as much as you want, basically. And he's pretty much, he can play all the songs. He can play more Arch Enemy songs than we can, because he just covered the whole back catalog.
Wow.
And he came here first in January, and he just played, we just rehearsed. We had to book 2 weeks of rehearsal. We thought, okay, we're just going to start working from scratch, you know, kind of thing, and show him all the tricky parts that Chris is playing, because Chris is quite an accomplished guitar player.
Yes.
And he just fucking nailed it. The first rehearsal sounded like Arch Enemy, totally perfect.
Wow.
A little bit better than usual, because he was, he was a lot more focused than we are. Because, I mean, if you've been rehearsing together for 10 years, you get a bit sloppy,
Yeah.
Like, that's all right. That's going to sound great live anyway. I mean, just add the live energy and we're going to be right there. But he was just really... he just totally kicked our asses. And like, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. That must be really
That's
refreshing.
how it's supposed to sound, That's how it's supposed to sound when we are playing.
Yeah. Well, that must be refreshing and almost give the rest of you almost like a kick in the bum to sort of go, yes, now we can. Does it feel like he's going to be a full-time? He is in the band full-time now?
Yeah, I mean, what we're going to do is we're going to tour together for this year now. And if nothing bad happens, I think that's what's going to be. But, I mean, we just want to give him those, 8 months with Arch Enemy to see if he actually likes us enough to, because I mean it's quite intense. This is two things: fitting musically and also being fitting on a personal level, and on the long run in tight, spaced, intense situations like being on the road.
Yeah.
So we kind of kept that open, as simple as that, for both sides. But I mean, like for us, we're really invigorated, like in a really positive way, because there's somebody in the band who's really excited, who really is excited about going to Asia and Australia. Has never been there, and he's also kicking our ass a bit, and he's young, and we kind of much younger than we are, so he's bringing in that energy, and it's exciting for us to have like new blood, definitely.
Well, you can hear it in your voice. You're really excited by this, which is fantastic to hear.
Yeah, it's a good change. I mean, change has to happen in life sometimes, and usually, I believe that change is usually for the good. Even sometimes, like things seem to be negative, because I mean, when Chris told us, he actually told us already in October last year. That he wants to get. In the beginning, I just thought, "Fuck, not again."
Yeah.
I mean, come on, just at least try to do the Chaos Legion cycle, But so it was kind of a downer for a minute. But then I thought, yeah, it's also a chance, because it showed that Chris wasn't happy in a way. He wasn't in a great mood on tour, and he wasn't really enjoying it anymore. So and it's great to have somebody in the band who's gonna enjoy it. Really enjoy it and he feels blessed with it and not punished or just bored.
What are your great memories of Australia? Because you have been here before. I think it was 2009 when you were last here. What's something that you're only here for 2 dates, but what are the things that you're looking forward to the most?
The shows, definitely, because we haven't had a bad show in Australia yet. People are very passionate about music, and they're also, I think they're gonna go nuts on a Monday evening,
Yeah.
That's not, you can't take that for granted in all places, especially when you go to Scandinavia. That's where we are from. People are a bit more reserved, and they don't drink during the week, so it's a little bit tame in a way. But I think Australia's not going to be tame.
No, we look for any excuse to have a drink. That's any excuse at all. Yeah.
I know, mate. Yeah, I have a drink, mate. Exactly.
Exactly right. So it doesn't matter.
We're looking forward to that energy. And Australia is a beautiful place to go. It's got a very different plants and flowers, and it's got a lot more blue sky than we see here in Sweden.
I hope it's okay when you get here.
Yeah, I heard you had floodings and massive rain. So what the hell's going on?
It's not too bad here in Sydney. In Sydney's been a bit rough. Melbourne's been okay, but Queensland has copped a lot of rain. But let's just hope by the time April 30 and May 1 roll around that the weather will be better for you.
I'm ordering to the universe.
Yes, please do. Please do. Now, Arch Enemy fans, can you describe or explain one to me? Because as a whole, heavy metal fans, they're fiercely loyal fans. They're dedicated, but at the same time, they can turn on others within their own genre, which I've never really understood. You get people who might be an Arch Enemy fan that might just go, well, I don't like Carcass. And it's like, why do you hate a band that's in the same genre? Have you found that?
Yeah, I think metal fans are very passionate about their music, and they passionately love or hate something.
Yeah.
And they're also a little bit elitist sometimes.
Yes.
I think about their music taste, and I think that's where it stems from. Which personally, I think is a bit of a shame, because especially when you come from Europe, we have a very strong festival culture, and there you see all kinds of bands, and there's people getting along. I mean, when you put them in a situation like this, you go to Wacken Festival, and then there's somebody checking out some power metal band, and the next band on this, extreme grindcore, and then the next band is speed metal, and then you get some alternative fusion, and it works.
Yeah, I think
because
so.
it's music in the end of the day. And musicians, when you look at the musicians, they're always very open-minded and accepting, because as a musician, you have to be open to, because you want to get new ideas, and you understand that music transcends all borders, really, and all limitations, and is a universal language, I mean, you can play in all these, we know that we play in all these places where religion, we're very anti-religion in a way, we're atheists, but we play in places that are Muslim countries, and people just love us as much there. They don't care that we have a message that probably doesn't really fit with their beliefs, but it's music that transcends all these, things, other things that people get so uptight about. And, it's a bit of a shame that people then get uptight about their music taste and go into each other's faces. I think the Arch Enemy fan, I don't know if they're just as militant about their music taste, but we have got a very broad range of fans. We've got very young fans, 12, 14, 16, and then we actually got people that are more in their 50s. It's a very broad range, and also from all social backgrounds and all kind of backgrounds in belief and color and whatnot, because we don't, as a band, we don't discriminate either, I mean, our message is just like one for all and all for one, and united we stand.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who you are.
Well, that's exactly.
Your heart is in the right place.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I always thought that this is what a powerful music like metal should actually have as a message,
Yeah.
It's just like, it's more like having people join together that are different than the mainstream and different than society and alternative in a way, that's what kind of unites us. And, and then also the strong urge for freedom, and freedom, that's what freedom is about, that you can pick and choose whatever you wanna. You can be whoever you wanna be. You can look the way you want to look. It doesn't matter, because metal is also a little bit uniform sometimes. When you look at people, everybody kind of wears black shirts with big angry letters on it, and long hair. But I think it should be cool if somebody wants to, I don't know, be all dressed in pink at a metal show.
That'd be something different. Yeah. Are you setting the challenge for someone in Melbourne or Sydney to come to your gig dressed in pink?
Pink is the new black.
All right. Speaking of your fans, when I mentioned on my Facebook page for the show that I was going to be chatting to you, James, one of your fans, you get so many fans here. I think she's scary. She sounds really nice in an interview, but what if she starts growling and summons a troll? And I said, well, James, a troll.
I don't. There are no trolls. I can't summon anything. But I guess I sound a lot more scary when I growl and scream. I don't. But I don't growl and scream in normal life situations. Obviously,
it's a wonderful paradox.
But if you want me to do this interview, this screaming voice, we can do that.
That'd make it very hard to do an interview like that.
I think all your EQ's gonna be like freaking out there.
It's a wonderful paradox that you have. Everyone looks at you and just goes, "Wow, this is extraordinarily beautiful and talented woman who just scares the shit out of me." It's great.
Yeah, but I'm tough little cookies, like the cute shell and the angry inside. No, I don't know. I mean, I think. If everybody has to have a really huge beard and look very, very ugly to do this kind of voice, that would be very boring in metal too.
Well, I tell you what, it makes for a nice change, because far too often we're getting very ugly, as you said, bearded, long-haired, sweaty men doing this, and I'd much rather watch you do a show than a big, fat, sweaty, hairy man.
Yeah, exactly, right? So that's just... Just change it up a little bit, exactly.
I think so.
The cute little girls are usually the most dangerous ones.
Oh, that's all right. I hear that as a warning, and I take that on board. Now, just one of my favourite songs from your brand new album. Well, it's not so brand new anymore. It's been out for a little while. Chaos Legions.
It feels very old and boring to us.
Oh, I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does.
Because you've always started writing a new record,
Yeah.
Like, okay, that was last year.
Yeah. Cult of Chaos is a definite favourite of mine from the album. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think I really like the tune. It's a little bit more old school sounding. I called that actually the Venom riff, like the first one. It's kind of like, it's a little bit old school black metal in a way, but a bit old fresh, the kind of background. and lyrically it's about basically an atheist. It's an atheist lyric. It's the way I think that the world came about. It's that anything beautiful can be created out of chaos, out of nothing, and that the only way really is to live truly freely. It's just to accept that fact that chaos is creation, and a swirling mass of atoms and ideas. That means that chaos it's both ways, physical and also metaphorical, as in that you can create any kind of beautiful art or idea out of chaos or out of nothing, basically. And let the cult of chaos reign. Be as free as you can be in that way as well. That you live your way as free. That you live as free as you can. That you try to free yourself from any kind of doctrines, dogmas, whatever you've been, influenced by through your parents or your social surroundings, and that you try to create that ultimate freedom in your head from nothing. That you basically go blank, and then you kind of create or invent yourself again as a human being too. So it's a message basically on two levels, and directed at everybody who's looking for new input or ideas. It's not that preachy, that song. It's a bit more hidden, that message.
Okay.
Well, it basically portrays my atheist belief in the world.
Do you want me to play anything specific from the new album?
I think you should pick and choose.
Okay.
If you want to play Cult of Chaos, go for it. It's obviously we have basically promoted a couple of songs by playing them live a lot and doing videos for it. But it's cool if you play something like, I don't know, City of the Dead or Cult of Chaos, because it hasn't been out there that much. Maybe some people haven't even heard it yet.
Yeah, I absolutely love the riff in City of the Dead. That's just a really grooving. Just after it starts, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 bars in, and then you get in that riff is so cool.
Yes, it's a little bit Carcass influence, I think, that the verse riff. And the beginning is kind of like, I don't know, Megadeth a bit, I guess.
Maybe that's why I like it. I like their stuff, so maybe that's what it is. No, just before I do go, we were joking about how this new album's not so new anymore, and I know you guys, when you're on the road, that's when you do your writing. So have you been doing that already?
Yes, we have done that. And we have also, of course, we always, there's always jamming going on backstage. And we have been here in Sweden, we have been rehearsing and then demoing new stuff. So, and we're going to get really heavily into it, obviously, in 2013 when we kind of get off the road. But I think that's the beauty of it. You just collect stuff on tour. Nowadays it's so easy. All you need to do is record it with your iPhone or whatever you got there, and just pile things up. And so you got a good selection of new stuff when you actually get more serious about it. And you can look back or throw it away or use it, whatever. But we always kind of add it. It being making new music, yeah.
I love it. I like the new album, Chaos Legions. It's fantastic. We look forward to you coming back to Australia. April 30 in Sydney at the Manning Bar, Melbourne May 1st at Billboard, the venue, and it's been great to catch up with you and chat to you, and I hope we get to do that in person and share a beer, because it's going to be a Tuesday night here in Melbourne, and I look forward to drinking on a Tuesday night. I don't know about you, but
absolutely.
If I could go,
I'm probably going to be smoking weed instead. But
okay,
cool.
Angela, thank you so much.
You're welcome, and see you soon, I hope.